Okay, so we're going to take a look at what arguments are valid and or sound or not. So example 1, all mammals need oxygen. Is that true? Check. A dolphin is a mammal. True? Check. Therefore, a dolphin needs oxygen. So if the first two things are true in this case, the third one has to be true. So that's valid and sound. All birds can fly. Okay, now this is where our problem is, because if that is true and penguins are birds, that is true. Therefore, penguins can fly. That would have to be true. But what's the problem here? All birds can fly? No, they can't. So the argument is valid, like your logic is valid. If this is true and this is true, then this has to be true. So nothing's wrong with the logic, but something's wrong with the information. This first statement is not true. So your logic is valid, but the argument is not sound because your information is not true. Example 3. All dogs are animals. True. All cats are animals. True. Therefore, cats are dogs. Not true. Now, I was trying to figure out how to explain this. We all know this is not true. So, but what I was trying to do is figure out how to explain it. Why is this important? Well, when you get to things that you don't have as much experience with or you don't know as much about, it could be harder for you to detect a logical fallacy. Why is this not a valid logical argument? So, in order to explain this, if you put, I want to write on this, but I don't think I can. So, if you put at the top animals, that's your category. Underneath it, you draw a line to dogs because dogs are a type of animal. And again, underneath animals, you draw a line to cats because cats are a type of animal. Okay? All this shows is dogs are animals, cats are animals. They have no relationship to each other that was established inside of this argument. Okay? So I think this makes sense. Hopefully I explained it okay. I mean, I know y'all know it's not true, but trying to put into words, how do you detect these things when this isn't a part of your known reality, but you're trying to figure out if an argument's logical or not? So let's see, what kind of argument is this? Each one of these, deductive or inductive, and is it a correct argument? So all humans need water, check. Maria is human, check. Therefore, Maria needs water. Good. Okay. What kind of reasoning is it? So it's deductive because it says all humans need water. That's your rule. And is that true? Yes. So it's both valid and sound. Okay. The last 3 classes were hard. Therefore, the next will be hard. What type of reasoning is that? This is inductive because this is based on your experience with 3 things inside a larger category. So 3 separate classes, and you're making a judgment that the next one will be hard. Is that 100% accurate? No, it's a hypothesis. So where we could fail is if we, instead of saying the next class will probably be hard, if we therefore then take a leap and say all classes are hard. And that's not true. So it's normal for us to stereotype in our lives because we're trying to make sense of our world, and typical thinking makes it easier. This is this, trying to make things make sense, but the world is more complicated than that. So inductive reasoning helps us make guesses about the world, but we have to be careful about taking that guess and then thinking it's truth. Okay, let's see if this one works. If it's raining, there's wet ground. The ground is wet, therefore it's raining. So that is inductive reasoning again. This is my experience. and then I'm making the guess. But again, it can't tell you that's 100% true. So they have, I mean, they give different, like they call that invalid, affirming the consequent. But I don't care in this class that you know the name, just that you can recognize, okay, that could be a prediction. It's probably, I noticed the ground is wet. It's probably raining, that based on my experience. But again, there could be sprinklers out there. So you can't take that as therefore it is raining. But see, they made a difference with the second. It says pattern based prediction. So here we're making a prediction. But again, you can't tell this for sure. It's just your prediction. Okay, all teachers work at schools. Mr. Lee is a teacher, therefore he works at schools. What kind of reasoning is this? So this is, since it says all teachers work at schools, that's giving you the rule. If this is true, then this has to be true. Mr. Lee is a teacher, therefore he works at a school. That would have to be true. But what's the problem? Again, this isn't true. All teachers work at schools? No, not necessarily. They can work in other places. So yeah, I disagree with this. The, um, this is hard to see. So this is, I mean, I'm going to, after this video, argue with ChatGPT a little bit more, but it says it's valid and sound. I would say it's valid. The logic is valid. All teachers work at schools. Mr. Lee is a teacher, therefore he works at a school. That's logical. However, it's not true that all teachers work at schools. It's true that most of them work at schools. But teachers can work in other places. You can teach in places that are not schools. Like I do that. Okay, so I have seen many sweet apples, therefore apples are sweet. This is based on my experience. So it is inductive reasoning. It's a generalization. It makes sense again to generalize, but the problem would come if we say all apples are sweet, because this is based on my experience and it's not true. Granny Smith apples are not sweet, or so that's what I'm saying. And some apples just don't have any taste, but it's normal to make generalizations based on my experience, and that's a normal kind of reasoning, inductive reasoning. It works to a certain extent, but you can't just say this is a rule now. So hope this is helpful. With the articles, feel free to say if you don't like one or it's challenging. I mean, it's okay to be challenging. But like here, I was like, well, there could be a problem here. There could be a problem here. You can do the same thing with articles. Nobody's perfect. Published authors aren't perfect either. And even if they get something that's used wrong, like this didn't work for me. I was confused here. They didn't explain this well enough. Same with me. If you notice those things and verbalize them or write them down, it can help you in your work. When you notice that in someone else's work, it can help you be aware when you're writing and make things clear. So I hope this was helpful.